So today I'm going to be demonstrating how to disassemble the lock housing cylinder for an '03 Volkswagen Golf. The process should be similar for other makes and models. As far as actually taking this out of the car, you open up the car door and there's a little rubber plug. You take that off and you have a screw you just loosen. You pull the handle while you're loosening the screw and then this just slides right out. But that's another video. So I actually took this apart earlier and cleaned it all up, so it should be a little easier. This one, up around here, sorry it's not focusing, it's on my iPhone. To take this apart, first off there's a plastic piece I already removed. This pushes in, it's all spring loaded, so make sure nothing flies. You push this in, and then there's a C-clamp looking thing, C-clip, sorry. You just pull that back. See how that's focus? See how that's working? So this guy pulls back and then kind of springs up. This is the piece we just removed. Connects to this. Then you have this whole thing. Be careful the spring doesn't fly out. You kind of just push it down, turn it clockwise, and then the whole thing comes up and you have your next piece here. It's probably a good idea to keep all your pieces fairly organized so you know how to put it back together. Just for future reference, when you're putting this together, it goes, this is the bottom of the second piece, goes like so. It's not focusing, but like so. Anyway, so you got this piece here. Take note of how the spring's positioned when you're taking it off, because it's kind of tricky to put back together. So there's your spring. Yeah, so now you got the spring off. There's another piece in here. You just pull that straight out. Take note of how it goes in. Next, for the next step, you're going to need to have your key in so all the pins are lined up and you can actually pull the whole locking mechanism out of this part. The pins are spring loaded, so you're going to want to just be slow and make sure nothing flies out. In mine, you kind of have to fiddle with it and turn it a little bit to get it out. It's probably normal. There we go. See, it's coming out. You can see there's a little rubber gasket. Here's all your pins. This piece slides out the back. Whenever I first took it apart, it was pretty gunked up, so it didn't slide so freely, but like I said, I cleaned everything. Now you've got your actual little lock cylinder with, these are your pins all along the side, on both sides. When you take your key out, the pins are going to want to pop out, so just cover them up, pull the key out, and there's your pins. Mine, only 5 of my pins are actually working, the other 3 are all seized. Some cars have more or less pins depending on what you have, so the pins just come out. It's a good idea. I wrote down, I made a little diagram there. Wrote down which pins go where. You'll find when you pull out the pins, they have little numbers on them, so just write down what order the numbers are in. See this one? This one's number 1. It's not focusing, but right there's a little number 1. The other ones are 1, 2, 3, 4, so just take note of what number the pins are in for when you're putting them back together. Just that's pretty much it. You can clean it. Mine I cleaned with some liquid wrench, I guess, and then some brake cleaner, but I mean that's another video. So pardon the music, I'm in a pretty noisy house. As far as putting it back together, once everything's all cleaned up and working right. Oh, and some of these pins, the reason I actually took this apart is it wasn't really functioning smoothly. So some of these pins, even when my key were in, were still sticking out, and you want them to all be flush so that it can turn freely within this. So you want it to be able to, you know, move freely. And some of these pins were still sticking out, so I actually filed them down just so it works a little more smoothly. So for putting it back together, I'm going to be lubricating mine with some graphite. You can use WD-40 or whatever, but this is just what I'm using. So I'm just going to lube everything up and put it back together. I'll probably fast forward this. Oh, one more thing. These pins, I'm already losing them. You can't really see because they're so small, and this is on my phone. But right in here, there's a little spring for every pin. Depending on your lock cylinder, they might want to fly out or they might be stuck. Mine are actually stuck, so I'm not worrying about them too much, but you might want to try and pull them out and put them down just so you don't lose them anywhere because they're really small and pretty easy to lose. So. Lube it all up. Goes without saying, putting it back together is just the same thing in reverse as taking it apart. You're going to need to have your key in to put this back in. You can take your key out at this point, it just makes it easier so this isn't turning when you're putting your spring in. Like I said earlier, this spring's not easy, so you can't really see what I'm doing. That only goes on one way, as I'm just realizing. And there you go. So I might have went a little bit, might have been a little excessive with the lubrication, but once I wipe her up a little bit, I'll show you. Hopefully I did it right, and hopefully it'll be functioning properly. All right, so there you go. Put the key in. Turns very smoothly, so that's mission accomplished. On my car, whenever you unlock the door, you can't pull the key out, so that's functioning properly. It's springing back when you lock it. So that's about it. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Give me any feedback in the comments. This is my first real tutorial video, hopefully the first of many. And if you like what you see, subscribe. So hopefully I helped you out.